Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today is a good day as we are featuring the brand Damasko. Now, this is a brand I wanted to get my hands on for such a long time because I really like their watches. I think they've got that very kind of solid German look about them. They're very much engineered, and I really like that. If you follow the channel, you might know why. Now, first things first, Damasko, I think they came around in the late 80s. They didn't start producing watches till the early 90s. So they're actually an incredibly young brand, really. But they do some really quite interesting features. Like this one, the name for this is the DK37. Now, the K part of that means it's got an in-house caliber, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But for what, considering they are a small brand, they do have some quite interesting niche things about them, which I think are very cool. But before I get too far into this review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Class Watches of Kenilworth. They have been absolute superstars. Really friendly, really helpful. Strongly recommend visiting the shop if you're in the Midlands area of the UK. If you're further afield, well, don't worry, I'll leave a link in the description below and at the bottom of the page now. All I ask, if you do contact them in any way, please mention the channels. It really would help. So let's talk sizes of this one. We're talking a 40mm case size. The thickness of the watch is 12.2mm of a lug to lug, so the longest point across the watch is working out just over 48mm, and the strap size is 20mm. Now the dial is just such a great look. I think it looks superb with this contrast between the white and the black. It's just so easy to read the time at a glance. It really does, kind of these black hands really pop off the dial. I love these big numerals going around here. Normally I'm not so much of a fan of that, but the black against the white just looks so good. I really like this kind of crosshairs here. Now, there is no lume on any of these numbers or the hands themselves, as it is a fully lumed dial. And yes, it does glow. It really does. And it makes reading the time at night far easier, I find, than, kind of loomed hands. This way around definitely does look quite cool. The only downside is that sometimes the dial can look a little bit kind of, I'm not going to say washed out. Sometimes when it picks up the sun, it does kind of change hues slightly. It almost goes like almost a pink and a green. It is kind of a little bit strange, but I've got no problem with that because I think the watch is just simply gorgeous. Now, one of the quite interesting things they do here is they have their name over at the 3 o'clock position and the day-date complication below there. But due to this crosshairs here, it kind of gives it a symmetrical feel because you read the center line and you read this as a mirror, kind of either side of it. So even though I would normally say to keep a true symmetric dial, you've got to keep the date down here. This kind of works because you get the kind of feel of a center line here, and then you get this kind of system going on there, which I think does look very cool. I love the big triangle point there. It's almost got a very military theme to it. Now, as we come past that dial, we have a sapphire crystal. I believe it's got AR coating on there. It looks like it has. Now, and again, once we come past this, we're starting to look at a little bit more of their kind of tech here, because even though we have a fixed bezel and a relatively simple looking case design there, very reminiscent of another German brand I know, this material here has been case hardened. Now, on the blurb it says it's been, well, one of their tricks is they do ice hardening. So when you actually want to harden something, if you heat it up and then quench it quickly in water, it makes it go, obviously harder. Now, if a water vent is ice, even lower temperature water, it gets even harder. Now, they're saying it's 60 HRC. Now, that works out in Vickers, because I tend to always say in Vickers, is 750. Normal steel is about 200 something. Seiko Diashield is 500. This 750. So this one here should be really good at keeping scratches away. It should be quite, should be a scratch-free watch for quite some time, I believe, unless you really go for it. Doesn't mean it isn't. It doesn't mean you can't dent the watch. If you still bash this against a door wedge, you know, especially with a metal frame one, you probably will still put a dent in there, but it should be harder to scratch this. So that's what, you know, that equates to. We do have drilled out lugs here. Now, that's quite handy because I say this would obviously be a strap monster. You could put any strap on this, it look fantastic. But they also offer their in-house bracelet. Now, it's a butterfly type, but being that it's in-house, that's quite special because most companies simply buy their bracelets from abroad, and clasps as well. Many companies do that. You know, it's one of those things. Not that there's anything bad in that, but they actually make their own one, and it is fully adjustable. You can buy it in normal submarine steel, a bit like another brand, and you can also have it in case hardened to the same degree as the body of the watch as well. And I think it looks superb, but it is an expensive item. It's about another 770 euros on top of the price of the watch for that bracelet. But that's, you know, if you want quality, you do have to pay for it. Now, as we come around to this side, we do have a signed crown with big crown guards there. If I unscrew it, you get a very audible pop as it comes out there. The watch itself does have 100 meters of water resistance to it, so you shouldn't have any problems at all. Now, as we turn the watch around here we do have a solid case back, which is a little bit of a shame because I would love to have seen the movement here because it does have a in-house caliber. Now, I did put this on the time grapher. It was coming out at +7 seconds. I did demag it, check just to see if it was going to come down from that, but it didn't. But to be fair, they say it's been actually regulated to, I think it's 6 different positions. So that could mean that on the wrist, it might level out. I don't know, to be fair. But still, I've got no problem with that. It does look really good. The movement itself is what they call the A26-3. It's a 20 joule movement. They managed to squeeze 42 hours out of it. I haven't tested it, so I can't, you know, state this. This is the standard grade version. There is also a top spec version available. Now, it does go on about the rotor having ceramic ball bearings, but on the picture you can see, you know, it says 2 ceramic bearings, but on the picture you can see there's 7 what look like steel bearings. So I'm not quite sure what that equates to. If anyone knows, please let me know. But overall, it's superb. One of the things I have noticed is the winding on it, because it has got a pore system. Now, that normally means that a winding should be more, I would say more efficient. When I wind this, you'll hear what I mean. It is quite a strange sound, but that will be because you've got a winding system with a lot of, you know, very fine teeth on there. So that will be what that's for. But it does feel very strange when you do kind of wind it. Let me put this on my wrist so you got an idea how it looks. Now, I'm wearing a Zin 556. Does look very familiar, doesn't it? And Bob has got the DS. So the DS is the more affordable price piece, and it is very similar to the 556. So I'll probably do a review of that and then maybe do a comparison video as well, because I think that will be quite interesting. So anyway, let's put this on my wrist. My wrist size is, what is it, 7¼ inches, and I think that's 18.5 centimeters. So give you an idea how this looks. Well, one thing I should say is the strap on this. This is it a Hirsch Demonda, I think, strap, because Zin also do this on the U2, but they've had it all branded up in with their logos on there, which is a very nice touch. I think this watch would just look amazing on so many different straps. I think it would be just superb. I will at some point end up owning one. I do know that. And that's it on my wrist. I think it is such a good looking watch. I really would be happy to own one of these, definitely. Anyway, let me know what you think of it, guys. Any comments, I'll always try and get back to you, but it is getting a little bit harder because there's like a lot more people commenting these days. So anyway, all the best, and most importantly, stay safe out there. Take care. Bye.